Psalm 42 closes with the same refrain that appeared twice earlier in the psalm. Why art thou cast down, O my soul? And why art thou disquieted within me? Hope thou in God, for I shall yet praise him, who is the health of my countenance and my God. Psalm 42, verse 11. This repetition carries significance. The psalmist speaks to his soul 3 times with identical words. His refrain functions as a deliberate choice to command the soul toward hope when circumstances suggest despair. The question, "Why art thou cast down, O my soul?" reveals self-examination. The psalmist does not direct this question to God or to his enemies. He speaks to himself. He interrogates his own despondency. His soul has sunk low, weighed down by sorrow and the feeling of divine absence. The psalmist recognizes this state and refuses to accept it as final. The second question follows, "Why art thou disquieted within me?" Restlessness stirs within his soul, and peace has fled. Anxiety dominates his inner life. The psalmist questions why his soul remains in this state when God still reigns. The command comes next. Hope thou in God. This imperative addresses the will. The psalmist chooses hope as an act of obedience to truth rather than as a response to feeling. His circumstances have not changed. His enemies still mock. He still feels forgotten. Yet he commands his soul to hope in God. Faith operates here as a choice, a decision to trust God's character despite present experience. The declaration follows the command, "For I shall yet praise him." The word "yet" points to future certainty. The psalmist does not feel like praising God. His present state involves mourning and questioning, but he declares that praise will come. This confidence rests not on his feelings, but on God's faithfulness. The God who commanded loving kindness in the daytime and gave songs in the night will prove worthy of praise. The last phrase identifies God in 2 ways. First, he is the health of my countenance. The countenance refers to the face, the visible expression of inner condition. A pessimistic soul produces a downcast face, but God will lift the face that sorrow has pulled down. He will bring healing that reveals itself in the visible expression. Second, God is my God. This possessive pronoun carries significance after the repeated taunts. Where is thy God? The enemies question God's existence and his care for the psalmist, but the psalmist claims God as his own. The relationship remains intact despite the feeling of abandonment. God belongs to the psalmist, and the psalmist belongs to God. This bond outlasts the storm of doubt and the assault of mockery. Each time the psalmist commands his soul to hope, he reinforces the truth of faith in God against the lies that enemies speak. This pattern shows that faith often requires repeated acts of will, not a single moment of decision. The psalmist in Psalm 42 remembers leading worship processions to God's house. Yet now he finds himself far from Jerusalem, overwhelmed by waves of sorrow and mocked by enemies. His faith does not erase these realities. Instead, his faith speaks truth to his soul amid sorrows.